Well, welcome back to Gardener's Cottage. I'm just doing a short video on mulching. We've had a very dry spring in Norfolk. In fact, it's only rained once in the last 6 to 8 weeks, so I've been having to water. And as you know, if you've been following our story this year, we've recently been doing a new part to our garden where we had filled in an old swimming pool. And the soil that we've brought into this area is pretty poor soil, really, very sandy, quite stony soil, and then not ideal for growing plants in. So we want to add a large amount of organic material, which we've had delivered from Mr Muck. Thank you, Mr Muck. And it's sat here in these plastic bags, and Mike is busy spreading it. What I've done, we have got some plants that we've bare rooted from other parts of the garden and planted into this garden, and now we're mulching them with this lovely mushroom compost. I think it's a combination of mushroom compost and well-rotted manure, because it certainly smells like manure. I've just bare rooted some catmints. I think this one's the Six Hills Giant, which is a very large one that was given to me by a friend because it had outgrown the space she had it in. And I've been splitting them and bare rooting them to avoid transferring any weed. And now we've watered them and mulched them. And I'm hoping that they're going to get going quite quickly. We're going to do this with the whole border. There are some other plants that we've planted in from other places in the garden. And this mulch will help to retain moisture. There isn't an awful lot of moisture in the ground at the moment, so we are having to water with the new plants. But once we get a bit of rain, it will definitely improve the soil. This is one we did a couple of weeks ago, and as you can see, the mulch has already started to go into the soil. We've got some weed coming up in it, and whenever we dig the weed out, it's helping to move the mulch down into the soil. And these are the catmints that I did bare rooted a couple of weeks ago, and as you can see, these are getting on really nicely. I'm really pleased with them. And these were tiny little plants, and now already they're getting to a decent size. Over here are some other plants that were bare rooted, which we had to move when we were doing the building work. So I'm watering these regularly, at least a couple of times a week. And as you can see, they look okay, touch wood. So far so good. I just have to keep watering them all summer, because they were completely dug up by a digger and bare rooted. And so, in fact, the plant over here was split into 4. So it was completely bare rooted. We also planted some lavenders in here a couple of weeks ago, which are looking nice. They were tiny little lavender plants. They've grown quite a lot already. Again, I'm watering these regularly. And in fact, the ones that have the soil improver around them look a lot healthier than the ones without. These are ones where we hadn't got enough of the soil improver to mulch them. And as you can see, these lavenders are looking a little stressed, a little dry, and a little nutrient depleted. They've had exactly the same amount of water, but as you can see, and they were planted at the same time, but they're just not as happy as the other ones, which we'll go back to over here, which are absolutely thriving. Much bigger plants, although they were the same size when they were put in. These ones are growing, there's more flower on these. They're definitely a week or 2 ahead of the other ones. So the mulch has really helped, not only to feed them, but to retain the water. So if you're thinking about adding some mulch to your garden, I would definitely recommend this particular supplier, Mr Muck. We've been very impressed with the stuff. It does have a slight sort of manure-y smell, but it is very well composted down, and the plants love it. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed my little talk about mulch. Bye for now.